Why does an American businessman need a Swiss bank account and secretive investments like that?
Okay, so is there any there? Joining me now is Nicholas Shaxson, author of Treasure Islands, a book about tax havens. He's also written an in-depth article on Mitt Romney's finances for the August edition of Vanity Fair. Welcome.
Thanks.
So, is there any there?
Yeah, well, what there are is an awful lot of questions. When you look into his finances, you come up against an awful lot of brick walls. When I researched this, there are lots of things you can speculate about. There are a few things you can say for sure, but this is his finances are still very, very mysterious. There are a lot of things that we don't know about.
Well, let's talk about this. Is it Sankaty? Is that how you pronounce it? Sankaty?
Sankaty, I guess.
Sankaty High Yield Asset Investors Limited, the entity based in Bermuda. What is that exactly?
Well, it is an entity. It is an offshore company that contains. We don't know exactly the value of that company. It contains. It could be. It's possible that it's just an old entity that has no real significance. Something that's kind of left over from earlier deals. But he does appear to have treated that entity very carefully indeed. Transferring it into his wife's blind trust just before he was inaugurated as governor of Massachusetts, having his lawyer Bradford Malt as the director of that company. So this is a very carefully treated company, and we found out about it on his 2010 tax return, but we have very little information about it. There doesn't appear to be much in it at the moment, but it's possible that there will be profits interest flowing into it in future. But again, it's one of these questions that we just don't know about.
From what I understand, Sankaty was part of a cluster of hedge funds run by Bain Capital, which of course is the private equity firm Romney founded and led until what, 1999? So what was Sankaty used for in 1999?
Well, again, we don't. This particular entity is just one of the Sankaty family. The Sankaty itself is a much bigger Bain entity with various different funds in it. But this entity is a particular company that was closely controlled by Mitt Romney, 12,000 shares held by the family. But again, you only have this information from the 2010 tax return and a little bit of information out of Bermuda. But beyond that, it's hard to know. We don't have details, for example, of Mitt Romney's severance agreement with Bain Capital, so we don't know what he's entitled to, where that money is. So it's again a lot of questions.
So in light of these entities, is there any way to really determine how wealthy Mitt Romney is?
Well, the campaign has said that his wealth is close to a bit less than $250 million US. However, there is an awful lot of flexibility when you say what something is worth. I mean, if you have a profits interest from a Bain Capital fund, for example, you may value it at zero at the moment because no income is flowing, but some years down the line there might suddenly be a huge payout. So there's an awful lot of flexibility, both from the point of view of tax law, but also from the point of view of what you're going to actually declare as to what you say you're worth. So it is quite a squashy concept, I think. There was some good reporting by, I think it was Forbes recently, that estimated his wealth at close to $250 million US. But again, it's you know.
As far as we know, though, Mitt Romney has done nothing wrong. He's done nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. So why should voters care about these things?
Well, this has been the mantra of the campaign. We have followed every law scrupulously. However, my article decided to explore that. Is this actually true that he has broken no laws, he's paid all the taxes he owes, and no more? And in fact, the answer to that question is not completely straightforward. In tax law and in other laws, there is generally a grey area between the legal and the illegal. In tax terms, tax avoidance and tax evasion. And there's quite a big grey area. And financial players such as Mitt Romney have routinely strolled into this grey area. And Romney has shown on a number of occasions that he's content to stride really quite confidently into this grey area where you're not quite sure until there's been a resolution by the IRS or someone else that this is strictly legal or not. So there is a question mark over that. It is the campaign mantra and Mitt Romney's mantra that all of this stuff is completely legal and there's nothing wrong with it. But I think that that question, that statement needs questioning further.
Nicholas Shaxson, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Still ahead.